People keep telling me I dodged a bullet, but they don't know what was really happening behind closed doors. They don't know what I saw, what I allowed, or what I became while trying to save someone who never wanted saving. Sometimes I wonder if the real damage wasn't what she did to me, but what I did to myself. I'm sitting here at my kitchen table, staring at my bank app like it personally insulted me. $847. That's it. That's the grand total of what's left of 4 years of my life with a woman I thought I'd grow old with. It's wild to think about, because when we first started dating, I had $68,000 tucked away. Real, solid savings. The grown adult kind. And now? Pocket change and a headache. Her name, honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. It feels like saying it out loud would invite the ghost of my stupidity back into the room. We met when I was 28. She was 26. Everything started out normal, dinners after work, goofy movie nights, spontaneous weekend trips. She had this spark to her, this kind of magnetic energy that made you feel like you were standing in sunlight. 6 months in, though, the shine started to flicker. She drank a little more than most people at parties, then a little more than most people at dinner, and eventually more than most people full stop. By the 1-year mark, it wasn't just alcohol. Pills had joined the party. Then, whatever else she could find. And listen, I'm not here trying to paint myself as some martyr who stayed because I'm a saint. Part of me truly loved her. Part of me really thought I could fix her. And a big, ugly part of me was just too deep in to back out without feeling like I was abandoning her. But the spiral? The real free fall? That kicked in around 1.5 years ago. She lost her job, marketing coordinator at a startup. Then another job. Then another. And every single time, it was, they didn't understand, or, my boss had it out for me. Never mind the fact she'd roll into work reeking of vodka or disappear for hours in the middle of the day. By that point, I was covering everything. Rent, all $2,400 of it, groceries, her Uber rides, her phone bill. She, temporarily, moved in with me after her first firing. And like some kind of emotional squatter, the temporary became permanent before I even noticed. I run my own HVAC company, small operation, 2 employees, nothing fancy but stable. But watching my money burn every month was like watching someone rip pages out of a book I spent years writing. And yet, I still kept telling myself she'd get better. She'd cry, promise to get help, tell me she needed me. And every time, I'd fall for it like it was the first time I'd ever heard those words. Then came January. The day that snapped the thread. I came home from a service call and found her collapsed in the bathroom. Not peacefully asleep, unconscious. There was vomit on the tile, blood trickling where she'd smacked her head on the sink. And for a solid 30 seconds? I thought she was gone. Fully gone. I called her name, shook her, panicked so hard I couldn't even feel my own hands. When she finally groaned and moved, something inside me broke in a way I can't fully explain. That night, I told her, rehab or it's over. No more maybes, no more I'll try, no more empty promises. And shockingly, she agreed. Looked me dead in the eyes, said she wanted her life back. Wanted us back. Wanted a fresh start. And stupidly, or kindly, depending on how generous you're feeling, I believed her. I found her a real program. Not the dingy kind where people go to hide from the world, but a legit recovery center with actual success stories. 90 days. $32,000. And because we weren't married and she'd let her insurance lapse, it all came from my savings. I told myself, this is an investment in our future. The kind of phrase you only say when you're trying to lie to yourself politely. She checked in on February 1st. For the first month, we only got supervised calls once a week. She sounded good, hopeful, like her old self was peeking through the haze. I drove 3 hours each way every Sunday just to see her during visiting hours. Month 2? Even better. She'd talk about group sessions, her counselor, her breakthroughs. She'd cry and tell me she loved me, that she was going to fix things, that she'd make it all up to me. Then, enter the sober coach. This guy, assigned during week 8, was the type you meet and instantly think, of course your name is Chad. He had the perfect teeth, the motivational speaker voice, the man bun that's not a man bun. He was part of their aftercare program, helping clients transition back into normal life, accountability calls, whatever. She mentioned him once or twice. I didn't think anything of it. Fast forward to March 30th, the day she finished the program. I drove up to pick her up with flowers, excitement, nerves, everything. Took her to her favorite restaurant. She'd been talking about that place nonstop for 2 months. But the whole time, she felt distant. Kept glancing at her phone, like she was waiting for a certain someone to text. Back home, I'd cleaned everything, bought new sheets, stocked the fridge with sparkling cider, no alcohol, obviously. I thought we'd celebrate. Talk about rebuilding. Maybe just enjoy being in the same space again. Instead, she sat me down and opened with the worst sentence in the English language. We need to talk. And instantly, I knew. My stomach dropped before she even continued. She launched into this whole speech about self-reflection, personal growth, being in a different place spiritually and emotionally. She said she needed people around her who understood her journey. That I couldn't possibly understand because I'd never struggled with addiction. And then, I'll never forget this, she actually looked annoyed when I reminded her I'd spent $32,000 getting her there. It's not about money, she said. It's about my growth. My therapist says. Your therapist, I asked, or your sober coach? Her face cracked for half a second. That was all I needed. Turns out she and Mr. Perfect had been texting for the past 3 weeks. She swore nothing physical happened, but she was moving in with him. He lived 40 minutes away. She'd already packed what little she had, during the 1 hour I left her alone to pick up dinner. I asked when exactly she planned on telling me, and she gave me this gem. I'm telling you now. Before she walked out, I handed her an envelope. She blinked at it. What's this? An invoice. She opened it and saw the breakdown. $32,000, rehabilitation program. $28,000, 18 months of rent, groceries, utilities, emotional labor, crisis management, the whole depressing list. Total, $60,000. Payment plans available. She laughed so hard she actually wiped tears from her face. You can't be serious, she said. You can't just invoice someone for being in a relationship. Read the fine print, I told her. While she'd been packing, I'd spent 3 hours with my buddy, a paralegal, reviewing everything. She'd signed a financial responsibility agreement when she moved in, promising to split expenses. She hadn't paid rent in 18 months. And the rehab money? That was a verbal loan agreement, with witnesses. My sister was there for that conversation. You're in breach, I said. Her laugh died instantly. This won't hold up, she snapped. Maybe not all of it, I said. But enough. And even if it doesn't, I'm filing anyway. Have fun explaining the legal claim to your new boyfriend. She called me manipulative, grabbed her bags, and stormed out. Left the invoice on the counter. That was April 1st. Yep, April Fool's Day. The universe really knows how to land a punchline. For a week, I heard nothing. Not a call. Not a text. Then suddenly, my phone started lighting up. And that's when things took a turn I never saw coming. Update 1, 3 weeks later. So, it's been 3 weeks since everything blew up. And honestly, I thought things would calm down. Maybe I'd get some peace. Maybe she'd just disappear into her new life with her miracle man bun coach. But no. Things didn't calm down. They detonated. 3 weeks of pure chaos, and somehow, I'm still standing. Let me start from the beginning. After she walked out, I actually went through with filing the claim. I took that invoice, the one she literally laughed at, plus every receipt I'd been hoarding like some financially traumatized squirrel. Rent transfers, bank statements, the text messages where she promised she'd pay me back once she was stable, all of it went into a neat little folder. Then I paid $400 for a lawyer consultation and for him to draft an official demand letter. $400 I really didn't want to spend, but after everything she put me through, it felt like the first time in months that I'd done something for myself. My lawyer said I had a pretty solid shot at getting some of the money back. He figured I could recover all the rent, and maybe 30–40% of the rehab costs if I could prove we discussed it as a loan. Not perfect, but better than eating the entire 60 grand in silence. The demand letter went out April 10th, certified mail. Required signature. And that signature was the beginning of the meltdown. April 12th, the flood begins. My phone blew up. Not from my ex, oh no, she didn't have that kind of courage yet. It was her mom. Her mother sent 53 text messages in 2 hours. 53. I counted. Every single one accusing me of something. How dare you try to profit off her recovery? You're a monster for putting a price on love. She's rebuilding her life and you're destroying it. She called me a narcissist, a financial abuser, a predator. The whole greatest hits album. I replied once, one single message. I paid for her to get clean. She dumped me the day she got out for another guy. I'm recouping my losses. That's it. She responded with an 8-minute voice memo, screaming like she was auditioning for a horror movie. Talking about how her poor daughter deserved better, how I was ruining her fresh start. And the whole time I'm thinking, you're defending the woman who left the guy who saved her life. Interesting. I blocked her. Should have done it ages ago. Then my ex finally texted me. Not with apologies. Not with remorse. Nope. Threats. You're going to drop this or you'll regret it. My coach knows lawyers. You're harassing me. I can get a restraining order. I didn't respond. My lawyer told me not to. So I sat on my hands and did nothing while my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. April 15th, she goes after my business. This one still makes my blood boil. My biggest commercial client called me in for a discussion. I'd been maintaining their HVAC systems for over 3 years. They trusted me. Turns out, my ex had contacted them. She told them I was financially unstable, mentally unwell, that I was spiraling, and they should reconsider associating their company with mine. She didn't even have their number before. Which means she dug through my office files, the ones I kept in the spare room, during one of the times she stopped by to pick up a jacket or grab her mail. I was shaking when the client told me, but he just nodded and said, "Sounds like you dodged a bullet." And that was that. I documented everything. Screenshots. Timeline. Even the missed call with her number attached. Sent it all to my lawyer. He added it to the file. The file that was now getting thick. April 18th, the happy couple goes public. A mutual friend sent me photos. There she was, and the coach, posting about their new beginning and finding real love in recovery. You know those motivational influencer pictures where people look like they're living their best life? Yeah, that's what they went for. Matching smiles. His arm around her. Hashtags about healing and growth. I didn't ask to see them, but I looked. Not because I wanted her back, God, no, but because after everything I'd sacrificed, seeing them smiling like they just won the lottery felt like a punch to the ribs. Then something in one photo caught my eye. Designer purse. New dress. Nice restaurant. Makeup she definitely hadn't bought with unemployment checks. Meanwhile, I was eating ramen and eggs trying to rebuild my savings. Cute. April 22nd, her mom finds a new number to harass me. This woman was relentless. She texted me from a new phone. You need to stop this legal nonsense. She doesn't have the money to pay you. You're going to make her relapse. That one actually made me laugh out loud. Me asking for my money back might make her relapse? Not the lying? Not the cheating? Not the coach? Sure. Okay. Blocked. April 25th, she lawyered up. I got a notice that she was disputing the loan claim. She had a lawyer now. Wonder where she got the money for that. Her argument? The rehab payment was a gift. Given freely. No strings attached. No obligation to repay. My lawyer wasn't surprised. Said it was standard. We filed our response. But then something interesting happened. My paralegal buddy, the same one who helped me draft the invoice, did some digging. All legal, all public records. Turns out Mr. Perfect Sober Coach had been fired from not one, but 2 recovery facilities for boundary violations with clients. No criminal charges. Nothing that would get him arrested. But enough to get him blacklisted from reputable places. Now he was self-employed. Meaning, no certifications. No licenses. Just a website and a smile. I didn't use that info. Not yet. But I tucked it away like a loaded card in my back pocket. May 1st, she filed a restraining order. I got served papers. She accused me of financial harassment and stalking. Her evidence? The demand letter. The lawsuit. That's it. No actual stalking. No messages. No contact. Just me using legal channels to recover money she owed me. My lawyer said it was intimidation and it'd get tossed. He was right. May 8th, the hearing. The judge took one look and dismissed it immediately. He literally said, legal proceedings do not constitute harassment. But the best part? Her coach tried to argue with the judge. The judge shut him down so hard I thought the man might evaporate. Even threatened him with contempt. Watching that felt shamefully good. Afterward, she tried to approach me in the hallway. The coach grabbed her by the arm, whispered something, pulled her back. She stared at me with this mix of anger and, I don't know, maybe regret? Didn't matter. I walked right past them. May 10th, a small victory. My lawyer called. As part of the discovery process, we ran a credit check on her. Her score had tanked. In the past month, she opened 3 credit cards, presumably to fund her new life and her legal fees. And she had already maxed them out. One of them was in default. Missed the first payment. And now the lawsuit, even if I didn't win, was listed on her credit report as an active legal claim. Dragging her score down even further. I'm not gonna lie. After everything she put me through, feeling even a tiny bit of justice finally land? Felt good. But I didn't know yet. This was just the beginning. Because the next thing that happened? Changed everything I thought I knew about the situation, and it showed me just how far she, and her new boyfriend, were willing to go. Update 2 months later. It's wild to say this out loud, but it's been almost 3 months since she walked out of my apartment with her suitcase and her brand new, sober soulmate. And if someone told me the story I'm about to tell you, I'd think they were lying. But I've got receipts, screenshots, legal documents, recorded calls, the whole insane scrapbook. When I left off last time, things were heating up legally. Her restraining order attempt failed, her credit score was free falling, and she had lawyered up to fight my claim. I thought that was the climax. Oh no. That was just the opening act. Mid-May, the sudden silence. Around mid-May, everything went quiet. No mysterious numbers texting me. No calls. No threats. No drama leaking through mutual friends. Just silence. And I should have known. Silence in my world now is the same thing as hearing the horror movie wind howling right before the demon jumps out. May 20th, the insurance fraud saga. My phone rang. It was my insurance company. Mr. ____, we received a claim that you vandalized an apartment. The apartment belonging to your ex-partner. They said I'd broken in. Destroyed belongings. Caused property damage. I was stunned. I actually laughed because I thought it was a prank. Except it wasn't. I was at a job site 2 hours away when the alleged destruction took place. I had 3 witnesses, including my client, who saw me from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. straight. I gave the insurance company everything. Within 2 days, the claim was flagged as fraudulent. That should have been the end. Except, when the investigator pushed her for evidence, she panicked. Changed her story. Claimed she had mixed up the dates. Then said the damage wasn't physical, it was emotional harm. Emotional harm to her stuff. I wish I were making that up. The entire claim fell apart. The investigator actually told me. This is one of the most blatant false claims I've seen. You can press charges if you want. I told him I'd think about it. Then I added the entire incident to the growing mountain of evidence my lawyer was collecting like Pokemon cards. May 28th, the coach tries to make peace. Out of nowhere, I got a text from the coach. Not from a lawyer. From him. I had no idea how he got my number. I'd changed it after the voicemail attacks from her mother. His message read, "Hey man, we got off on the wrong foot. Let's talk like adults. She's stressed about the lawsuit and it's affecting her recovery. You seem like a good guy. I'm sure we can work something out." I showed my lawyer. He literally laughed. They're getting desperate. Don't respond. So I didn't. June 3rd, she sued me. Again. I got served. Again. This time SHE was suing me for emotional distress. Defamation of character. Her claim? That by filing the lawsuit, I was ruining her reputation in the recovery community and threatening her sobriety, and that I owed her $75,000 in damages. My lawyer called it exactly what it was. A slap suit. Total garbage meant to scare you. So we fired back. Motion to dismiss. Counterclaim for legal fees. Frivolous litigation penalties. My lawyer went from professional calm to overprotective uncle who's been pushed too far. It felt genuinely good having someone angry on my behalf for once. Meanwhile, in paradise, through the mutual friend Grapevine, I started hearing things. Her glamorous new life? Not so glamorous. The coach's private practice? Yeah, it was basically a glorified hobby he was running out of his apartment with 4 clients total. Not exactly the future she'd imagined when she dumped me for her enlightenment guru. She was job hunting and failing. Bad work history plus active lawsuit equals HR red flags for miles. And apparently, she was telling interviewers about the wrongful legal action against her. Shocker, that killed every single interview. June 15th, declined cards and public embarrassment. Word got to me that she tried buying coffee. Card declined. Tried another one. Declined again. Her shiny new designer purse was sitting on the table while her credit score dropped into the low 500s like a skydiver without a parachute. Mutual friend said she left the cafe almost in tears. Meanwhile, her credit report looked like a crime scene. 3 maxed out cards. 1 in default. My lawsuit. The fraudulent insurance claim. The restraining order dismissal. Her financial future was officially a bonfire. June 20th, the coach's skeletons come out. My lawyer called, voice practically buzzing. Remember how the coach got fired twice? There's more. Turns out there was a third incident. A former client filed a complaint with the State Addiction Counselor Licensing Board. And here's the kicker. He was never actually licensed. Ever. He'd been working under someone else's supervision. Got fired before he could get credentials. Everything he was doing now, coaching, counseling, all of it, was technically illegal. My lawyer asked. Want me to forward this to the board? Yes. Yes, I absolutely did. One anonymous tip later, the coach was officially under investigation. June 25th, the coach loses his cool. He called me again. This time furious. You need to back off. She's not doing well. You're making everything worse. I said, calmly. She dumped me literally the day she finished rehab that I paid for. I'm just getting my money back. You're being vindictive. This isn't about money. If I wanted revenge, trust me, I'd be doing a lot more than filing a civil suit. I want my $60,000 back. She doesn't have it. Then she shouldn't have accepted it. He hung up. July 1st, judge drops the hammer. Her slap suit got dismissed. Completely. And the judge ordered her to pay $8,500 in my legal fees. She had 30 days. She did not pay. Shocking. Truly. July 8th, cracks in paradise. Mutual friend told me the coach and my ex were fighting nonstop now. Money was tight. She wasn't working. He wasn't making much. Then, cherry on top, the state board told him he had to cease all coaching immediately while the investigation continued. His income dropped to basically zero. Their beautiful new beginning? Yeah, the honeymoon phase was dead. July 12th, please drop the lawsuit. I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Please drop the lawsuit. I'm sorry. I'll pay you back. I just need time. My stomach sank. It was her new number. I forwarded it to my lawyer. He responded with a settlement offer. $50,000 over 5 years. 6% interest. Monthly payments, $900. First $5,000 due within 30 days. Missed 2 payments? Full amount due immediately. She asked for a week. July 18th, karma arrives early. Mutual friend dropped a bomb. The coach had kicked her out. Said she was too much drama and he couldn't risk his career, what was left of it, by being associated with her. The guy who talked endlessly about her being his sole connection in recovery dumped her the moment things got real. She moved in with her mom. Yes, the same mom who'd screamed at me for 8 minutes straight accusing me of ruining her daughter's life. July 20th, the settlement. She accepted the offer. Her lawyer sent over the agreement. $50,000. 5 years. 6% interest. $900 a month. If she misses 2 payments, the full remaining balance hits her like a freight train. I signed it. She signed it. And just like that, something that started with broken promises and a rehab bill turned into a legally binding financial tether that neither of us could walk away from. But the story doesn't end there. Because what happened after the settlement? That was the part one never saw coming. And honestly, it changed everything I thought I knew about forgiveness, consequences, and closure. Final update, 4 months later. It's been about 4 months since she signed the settlement agreement, and since so many people kept checking in, asking how things turned out, here it is. The last chapter. The real ending. Not the dramatic courtroom explosion or the karma-driven plot twist, just the quiet part afterward, where life keeps going whether you're ready for it or not. The first payment she owed me was due on August 18th. It didn't show up. Not on the 18th. Not the 19th. Not the 20th. On the 23rd, 5 days late, it finally arrived. No apology. No explanation. Just the money quietly dropping into the account my lawyer set up. I documented it, but I didn't raise hell. The contract says she has to miss 2 consecutive payments for the entire remaining balance to become immediately due, so I decided to save my energy. September's payment was on time. October's was 3 days late. November's came through on time again. It's obvious she's struggling, but she's keeping up. Barely. And honestly, that's not my problem anymore. How I'm doing now. People always want to know if I'm okay. The honest answer? I'm fine. Not great, not broken, not healed, just somewhere in the middle. Some weird space where life feels normal again, but a part of me is still waiting for the next bomb to drop. My savings are starting to rebuild. Very slowly. I'm at about $9,000 now. It sounds small compared to where I used to be, but after clawing my way out of a financial crater, it feels like a win. I picked up 2 new commercial contracts in August, and business has been steady, not booming, but reliable. I'm not drowning anymore. And right now, that's enough. Dating? No. Haven't touched that. Not because I'm secretly waiting for her to come back. I'm not even close. It's just, the whole situation hollowed something out of me. My sister keeps trying to set me up with people she swears are perfect for me, and I keep magically discovering urgent work emergencies. Maybe someday I'll be ready. Right now, the idea of starting from scratch with someone makes my chest feel tight. Where she is now. I hear bits and pieces through a mutual friend, little updates that float my way whether I want them or not. My ex works at a call center now. Not glamorous, not what she imagined her post-recovery queen era would look like, but it's a paycheck. After her mom kicked her out in September, apparently they had a massive fight about the settlement payments, she started renting a room in someone's house. As for the sober coach? About a month ago, the state board fully revoked whatever ability he had to practice. Turns out he'd been operating in the gray area for way too long. He moved to another state. No idea if he's still trying to run his coaching business or if he finally tapped out. Honestly, I don't think about him much anymore. The grocery store moment. I saw her once. October. I wasn't expecting it. I was grabbing milk. She was standing in the cereal aisle, holding a box of something sugary, looking tired. Smaller. Like the world finally caught up to her. Our eyes met. She looked away first. I didn't say a word. Neither did she. I thought I'd feel this blast of anger or spite or satisfaction. Something cinematic. But all I felt was this heavy, dull exhaustion, like being reminded of a long, ugly chapter you barely recognize anymore. The hardest part. It wasn't the money. Or the betrayal. Or even the legal circus. The hardest part was realizing I spent 4 years with someone who was never going to value what I gave. That I poured my savings, my time, my energy, my hope, into someone who didn't want to be saved, not by me, maybe not by anyone. My therapist, yeah, I finally got one in June, tells me not to think of it as wasted time. She keeps telling me it was a learning experience, a boundary-setting milestone, some character-building chapter. Some days I believe her. Some days I don't. Do I regret filing the lawsuit? No. Not even a little. I needed to stand up for myself. I needed to stop being the guy who eats every loss quietly to avoid looking mean. I needed to do something that told me that my voice matters. Even if she never pays the full $50,000. Even if I never get back the interest I lost or the attorney fees or the emotional fallout. Even if she keeps painting me as the villain in her sob story about recovery setbacks. This wasn't about revenge. It was about finally saying, my effort had value. My support had value. I had value. And no one gets to walk away from that without consequence. Do I still love her? I loved who I thought she could be. I loved the version of her I built in my head. I loved the imaginary future I thought we were fighting for. But the real her? No. I don't love that person. I don't even think I like that person. I don't hate her either. Hate takes energy. I'm just done. Did I win? Did I lose? Honestly? Neither. I'm not standing on top of some triumphant mountain holding a victory flag. I'm not shattered in pieces on the floor either. I'm somewhere in between. I lost money. I lost time. I lost a chunk of my trust in people. But I'm still standing. Still running my business. Still paying my bills. Still waking up every morning and trying again. And after everything, that feels like something to be proud of. My sister told me last week. I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. That hit me harder than anything else in this whole saga. Because for months, every voice around me was either telling me to move on or calling me vindictive. Hearing someone say they were proud of me for not letting myself be a doormat? Yeah, I needed that. So what's the moral? Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Don't drain your life savings for someone who won't even lift a finger for themselves. Don't mistake potential for compatibility. And don't expect gratitude from someone who can't even be grateful for their own survival. But also, don't let one broken person convince you you're unworthy of love, or money, or respect. My final words. If she ever stumbles across this, which is unlikely, because self-reflection isn't really her hobby, I genuinely hope she stays sober. Addiction is hell. Nobody deserves that battle. But I also hope that every time she sends that $900 payment, she remembers that the things she took from me had weight. That actions have consequences. That someone finally held her accountable. As for me, I'm going to keep rebuilding. Keep working. Keep going to therapy. Keep moving forward even on days where moving forward feels like dragging myself uphill through mud. Some days, that feels like enough. Some days, it doesn't. But it's what I've got. And I'm making it work. There's no fairy tale ending here. No perfect bow. No Hollywood montage. Just reality. And after everything I've survived, reality is enough.